Good evening, everyone. You'll all rise. Commissioner Wall.
Let's bow together in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, your wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us, Lord, engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us, Lord, with your grace as we make decisions that affect our community and our family. Continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the greater glory of you and for the service to our community. We ask these things in your precious, holy, and most righteous name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Wall. Roll call.
Abernathy. Here. Aday. Here. Alexander. Here. Arnold. Yes. Black.
Present.
Bond.
Here.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant, Cindy. Bryant, Mike. Here. Deaton.
Here.
Ellison. Here. Godwin.
Here.
Hale. Here. Hall. Here. Hicks. Here. Johnson. Here. Jones.
Present.
Martin. Here. Mercer. Here. Montague.
Here.
Neoff.
Here.
Petty.
Here.
Taylor. Tippett. Here. Wall.
Here.
23 present, Mr. Chairman.
I mean,
23.
23 present, 2 absent. Item number 2, minutes from the previous meeting. Commissioner Black.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to say that I appreciate the county attorney with his diligent response on the previous discussion regarding the sunshine laws, and the recommendations are truly appreciated. However, I want to rise to say that the minutes that we're going to try to approve are not complete, in that this is Commissioner Mercer is a duly elected person within the board here, and the discussion he has, as unpleasant as it may be to some, is not reflected in the minutes, as well as the fact that the question that I discussed with the county attorney regarding the minutes from a caucus meeting are not here. And I want to take you to Tennessee Code Annotated, Section 844-104. There are 2 parts to this. The second part deals with secret votes. But the first part reads, the minutes of a meeting of any such governmental body shall be promptly and fully recorded, shall be open to public inspection, and shall include, but not limited to, a record of persons present, all motions, proposals, and resolutions offered, the result of any votes taken, and a record of individual votes in the event of a roll call. I think the key thing here is fully recorded, and should include but not limited to. So I move that the minutes be tabled, approval of the minutes be tabled until we have a complete set of minutes from the previous meeting.
Have a motion second. Roll call.
Yes.
Roll call.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Aday.
Yes.
Alexander.
Pass.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Bond.
Pass.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant.
Pass.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Deaton.
No.
Ellison.
Yes.
Godwin. Hill.
No.
Hall.
No.
Hicks.
Pass.
I'm sorry, sir.
Pass.
Thank you. Johnson.
No.
Jones.
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Yes.
Nehoff. I'll pass. Petty,
No.
Taylor, Tippit,
Pass.
Wall.
No.
Anybody want to change their vote?
That's what I heard. Chairman, I heard 11 yes, 6 no, 6 pass, 6 absent.
At 11 yes, 6 no's,
6 pass.
6 pass, 2 absent. Motion table fails. Commissioner,
Motion to approve the minutes from last.
have a motion to approve the minutes, have a second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Brown seconded. Mr. Black.
I will say that the vote was taken, but I will ask the county attorney to check and reassure that these minutes are not complete. They are not.
The minutes only have to record votes, not discussion. And the issues I believe that you brought up were discussion items. Not every statement that's made in the meeting is recorded in the minutes.
Sure, I understand that. No one says that you have to have a detailed accounting. But what the minutes can reflect is that a commissioner made a statement to this body, a concern he had with the Sunshine Law being violated. And you can include the fact that you, as the county attorney, gave an opinion that it was not violated. That can be in the record. But you cannot tell me that that discussion should not be in the minutes. Because right here, I said it, it says, let me read it again. The minutes of a meeting of any such governmental body shall be promptly and fully recorded, shall be open to public inspection, and shall include, but not be limited to, a record of persons present, all motions, proposals, and resolutions offered, the results of any votes taken, and a record of individual votes in the event of a roll call. That can be a part of it. Just like we have mayor's report, we have the education report. Those things can be in a county commission meeting, and they can be recorded as part of the minutes. His discussion, I will argue, should be a part of the minutes.
You
Commissioner
certainly
Petty.
can add it, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I respect your opinion, and of course I respect Luther's opinion too, and for his right to be able to say what he said. I watched the meeting on TV, but I think things like that, you know, they take place in the meeting, and they're being recorded in television, so people see those. But I don't think it's something that needs to be in the minutes for people to look at 5, 10 years from now. And because those are just opinions and their feelings, and they're good feelings, and they need to be dealt with in here. But at the same token, I'm not in a situation where everything has to be recorded in the minutes. That's just my thought.
Commissioner Black.
Again, and I'm not going to make it a big issue, but again, it's not just for people to see 50 years from now. Minutes are the official documented record of what takes place in a county commission meeting. And you cannot have selected thought process on what should be in and what shouldn't be in. If it was discussed by a legitimate elected official, matter of fact, he responded to my concern about minutes at a caucus meeting. Consequently, he felt the necessity from that discussion to forward that information to all of you. So that should be in the record and his discussion. Not word for word, it does not have to be word for word. It needs to be a part of the official record. I will argue that point.
All I was gonna say was that you're correct. You don't have to limit the minutes to simply motions and votes, but it's not required that every discussion or every presentation that's put forth within a meeting is included in the minutes.
I think that's important.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
I can't speak for anybody, but if I'm understanding what your concern is beyond what you read, which is very clear to everybody, is that minutes should reflect what happened at a meeting, which means that there were concern expressed about such and such a topic. So, you know, our minutes really don't reflect, overall, most of our meetings. If nothing more than the fact that concern was expressed there, or citizens spoke on this issue, and they the minutes should reflect it because that's an account of what actually happened.
Commissioner Mercer?
Mr. Attorney, who decides what goes in the minutes?
Excuse me?
Who decides what goes in the minutes?
Well, the county clerk takes the minutes.
I know who type them and I know who take them. I said, who decides that what goes in the minutes?
Well-
And what what don't go in the minutes?
Well, the statute says.
He just read the statute, I know what it says.
It says, well, I won't reread what the statute says, but the things that are listed in the statute should be recorded in the minutes. If additional things are put in the minutes, that's certainly okay. There's nothing that would not allow that. Ultimately, this body approves what's in those minutes, and if this body wants to add additional items to the minutes, it can do that.
I'm a elected official.
I move to amend the minutes to reflect that there was concerns expressed by Commissioner Mercer relative to the Sunshine Law. And I second the motion of the acceptance.
We got a motion on the floor right now to approve the minutes.
There's a
My motion was to amend.
He moved to amend,
Second.
but he has not seconded.
Second.
Have motion second to amend the minutes. You want to restate your amendment?
I move that we would amend the minutes to reflect that question was raised by Commissioner Mercer with regard to the Sunshine Law, and that it become a part of the minutes.
And the attorneys, county
And the
attorney,
attorney agreed on.
had an opinion. that it
Everybody
was not
understand what it-
violated.
No, sir, I don't.
Nobody understood what you said.
Mr. Attorney,
Okay,
Mr. Attorney.
okay, is this clear? I'm amending the motion to accept, and that the minutes should reflect that question was raised with regard to the Sunshine Law by Commissioner Mercer and ruled by the attorney.
To accept the minutes as written, but
No, accept the minutes with the amendment. Clear. Accept the
Clear.
minutes, but it should be noted.
everybody get that? Commissioner Mercer?
Chairman, the attorney and I was spoken, I mean, I don't have no problem with the amendment. I mean, the attorney was talking, the Brown got up, I'm still standing up here. You can, but you did it last meeting. You can meet, you're not following parliamentary procedure. Your parliamentary procedure, you're not following that. If you're not gonna do your job, you need to get out that seat. Now, I was talking to the attorney, if you ain't gonna do your job and correct whatever's going on in this meeting, you don't need to have that job. You know, I'm getting tired of this bull now.
Sir, it's not my job to correct.
It is your job, that's what we hired you for. What we hired you for?
My job as the parliamentarian to interpret parliamentary procedure, but nobody made a point of order. It's the chair's job to enforce the rules. of
Now, I'm
parliamentary
talking
procedure.
here, and you just, anybody get up and stop and just start talking, and I'm still sitting here, and you and I commuting back and forth. That's wrong, and you know it is. If you don't wanna do your job, you need to find you another job. Shit, I'm tired of this ball.
Well, Commissioner, with all due respect,
Sit down, you can talk now.
I'm not sure how to record this. I'd be happy to do what y'all want, but y'all need to give me specific language because you're asking me to edit or to I don't know how to put the verbiage you want. I can put something in there, y'all approve it, but it may not be what y'all want. So I need specific language y'all want me to put in the minutes for me to do it properly. I don't want y'all to do something y'all are unhappy with.
Commissioner Godwin?
I have a question. Attorney Bush, I asked you to find whether or not the law was violated. Did I not? Yes. And you did do that, and you sent an email. My email has been out. Is there any kind of way you could address the body in regard to that? Because I asked you in an open meeting, and you sent an email. Could you not address, talk about the violation?
Point of order. Point of order.
Point of order, speak.
Sir, are we not talking about the minutes right now?
Yeah.
Just as far as the,
We're getting ready to vote on it,
I
hopefully.
think that'd be appropriate for maybe the last agenda item.
Okay.
Just we're trying to focus on the minutes.
One more time, Commissioner Black. Correct.
The verbiage is very simple. It doesn't have to be a blow by blow. You can basically state, County Commissioner Mercer raised a concern regarding several members in this body attending and violating the Sunshine Law. Cut. The county attorney, Bush, made a ruling and a decision that there was no violation because public notice was given. Cut. The question about minutes was asked, and it was addressed in a later memorandum. Cut.
But the notice was given.
I said the notice was, he made the judgment that the notice
Notice was given, right, okay.
And my point is, you can include his decision.
Gotcha. Now we're voting on the
Three
amendment.
statements.
Yeah,
Commissioner
that's
Brown.
it. But it need to be showed in the record, whether you disagree or not disagree. I'm not here to say that
He's
you
just
need to have
trying,
a blow by blow.
he's just trying to get it down what you
I
asked
just
for.
get-
Commissioner Brown,
That's
it's your
simple.
amendment. Are you happy with those three statements? That's what you, all right, thank you.
We're voting on the
No
amendment.
problem.
Roll call.
Abernathy.
No.
Ada.
Yes.
Alexander.
No.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Bond.
No.
Brown Claudel.
Yes.
Bryant Cindy.
No.
Bryant Mike.
No.
Deaton.
No.
Ellison.
Yes.
Godwin. I'm sorry, ma'am. Thank you. Hale.
No.
Hall.
No.
Hicks.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Jones.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Yes.
Neoff.
No.
Petty.
No.
Taylor. Tippit.
No.
Wall.
No.
I like to change my vote, yes.
Change your vote to what?
I pass, yes.
You change it to yes?
Yes.
Godwin changes hers to yes.
Thank you, sir. That's what I heard.
10 yeses, 14 noes,
One absent.
1 absent. Motion fails. Now we're voting on the approval of the minutes as written. Ms. Abernathy.
Mr. Chairman, is there a policy on when the minutes are supposed to be finished and sent out? Is that something that we can have at the agenda review meetings so that we can have looked over everything and voice any concerns before the commission meeting?
Well, they normally
Is there
get,
any policy as to when those are?
there's no written policy.
Under our rules, it says the county clerk shall make copies to each commission member of meeting minutes and distribute them at least 10 days before the next meeting.
Commissioner Martin.
Okay, Fred, Mr. Burnham, you write the amendment, right? I mean, you do write it, right?
I take part, yes, my staff and I.
Okay.
I don't take all the credit, but yes,
Okay.
sir.
So who decide what to put in there and what not to put in there?
I do.
Okay, so why did you choose to leave this part our concerned Commissioner Mercer?
Hey, folks, this has gone on long enough. We're getting ready to vote on the approval of the minutes. That's
Can
what we're
I
getting
not
ready to do.
stand and just ask?
We've already covered all of that.
You got it.
I said questions should be directed to the chair.
That's correct.
Well, Chair, well, okay, well, I asked, but Fred, he's the one that did the right, not you.
You asked the question, he answered the question.
Okay, so I'm asking him, why was this conversation not included? That's all I really want to know. Why wasn't it put
You
in?
know what? I'd be embarrassed to include it, basically, if you want to know the truth.
But it ain't about what you're embarrassed about, what is right.
Well, it wasn't- it was pretty embarrassing.
No, it's not about, it's what, it's gonna come down to what. is
Commissioner
right.
Alexander,
Call for a question.
question been called for. Roll call.
We voted on the,
We're voting on the question.
voting on the question.
We're voting on the question. That's to cease debate.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Aday.
Yes.
Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes. Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant.
Yes.
Mike Bryant.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Godwin. Hill.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yeah,
Sir.
I said yes,
Thank you.
but you're in it, you're in it.
Montague.
Yes.
Niehoff.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Taylor. Tippit.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes.
I heard 24 yesterday, Mr. Chairman.
24 yeses, 1 absent.
Yeah, I made a motion.
Motion cease debate is passed. Now we're voting on the minutes. Roll call.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Aday.
Yes.
Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black.
No.
Bond.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant.
Yes.
Mike Bryant.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
No.
Godwin. Hale.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
No.
Martin.
No.
Mercer.
No.
Montague.
No.
Niehoff.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Taylor. Tippit.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes.
Record me as passing on that.
Yes, sir.
Please.
This is what I heard. 16 yes, 7 no, 1 pass, 1 absent.
16 yeses, 7 no, 1 pass, 1 absent. The minutes have been passed. Item number 3, report from County Mayor.
No presentation this month, Mr. Chairman. I do, however, want to recognize we have some Leadership Jackson attendees, so I'm sorry for what you witnessed so far. Hope it'll be better from here on out. I think you got one more over here, so. Oh, no, I thought you were there. Okay. Leadership Jackson is here, so welcome, you guys. Glad you're here.
Announcement from the chair. It's good to see our friend Harold Petty back. He's gone through a long battle. He's been strong, he's stuck with it, and here he is, 18 months later. Item number 5, announcement from school superintendent. No one here from school board? I think you're right, yeah. Item number 6, progress report on the jail.
Last week, we closed the annex, so the annex officially closed. We had a lot of issues over there with the plumbing. It was leaking down on the 2nd floor. So I know everybody's in the courthouse glad we got that closed, so it's officially closed. They've started construction on the old Sally Port. That's gonna be the new visitation area for the new, for the east and the west campus of the jail. So we're making progress there. Hopefully we'll get the parking lot paved before they shut the paving company down. But we're still continuing to have weekly meetings. We had an opportunity to have Ms. Bell there this past week, and so we're meeting with construction people, making progress on getting some of the IT equipment in. So moving right along.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Mercer.
check it out. You move the people from the annex down to the main jail.
Sorry?
You move the people from the annex over the jail down to the main jail.
Yes.
Now, they was already crowded down there, wasn't
Well, when I took over on September 1st, we had 516 inmates at CJC.
they? Now,
No, when I took over September 1st. When I checked last week, we had 462. The conditions at the annex it was not good for the inmates or the employees. The employees didn't even have anywhere to use the restroom on the 3rd floor. They had to go down to the 2nd floor to use the restroom because some of the plumbing was cut off. So with all those concerns in mind, we went ahead and transitioned those 18 inmates to the criminal justice complex.
Item number 7, report from Jackson Chamber of Commerce.
Chairman, I'll be brief. You guys heard Georgia Pacific announced a couple weeks ago, 233 jobs, $425 million investment, purchased about 240 plus acres. It's the largest single capital investment economic development project in the history of Madison County. It's a really good project. TSA is back operating full-time at McKellar-Sipes Regional Airport. Blue Oval City, there's a team from Ford that'll be in town Thursday doing a panel at the fairgrounds at 10 a.m. If any of you guys would like to attend that, there'll be a panel of Ford and SK Innovation employees. Housing study, I got the preliminary numbers, which is looking at the population and housing inventory to 2035. I got those preliminary numbers yesterday. They look really, really good. That final study should be in the next couple of months, and I'll share that with you guys when I get it. Last thing is October is manufacturing month. Friday is manufacturing day, and there's 100+ students from our school system from 7 different high schools that'll be touring 12 different local industries during that day. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Ryan. Item number 8, report from Laura Nunnery.
Good evening. First of all, for your calendars, so get your pens out. There's a lot coming up. November the 5th is the Veterans Day Ball that's going to be held at the Doubletree Hotel. You remember Mary Ross and Jackie Udley speaking on that last month. Also coming up, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, November the 12th is the actual parade. Also on your calendars, November 6th, I think all the tickets are gone last I heard, the University of Tennessee, somebody's heard of them, and the University of Memphis baseball game out at the ballpark. We also have the Christmas parade on December 10th. And another event that's coming up is something that we're doing as a part of our Jackson Hidden Tracks, which is our music initiative. We're calling it Merch Day. And for those of us over the age of 40 that don't really know what a merch day is, it's where you kind of panhandle your wares. So we are opening this up to musicians in the community where they will register with us, and then we'll help them to promote their merchandise out there to help generate revenue for the artists. This is really important. This is an important cog in our tourism wheel here in Jackson and Madison County, because we have a unique music scene that can only be found halfway between Nashville and Memphis, and that's one of our key marketing points. So if you go to Jackson Hidden Tracks website page, we'll be featuring Merch Day on November the 10th, but if you know of a music artist, put them in contact with us, because we want to make sure we get their merchandise on our website to help promote it. The other thing, which is probably the most important thing you want to hear from us, is how our hotel motel tax collection is doing. And I will tell you this, last year this time we were up 18%. This year we're up an additional 12% on top of that. So year to date we're up about 14%. And what does that mean? That means it's looking really good, folks. That means that we have still September, October, November, and December to report, and we are well ahead of what we anticipated collection-wise. Also, with the new hotels on her horizon, there's continued growth with hotel product. What we are challenged in Jackson and Madison County is product development. And what is product development? It's helping the sportsplex get along. It's maybe developing a ropes course. It's like getting a campground here. It's developing attractions that people want to see and activities that people want to do. And so if you have constituents in your area that are interested in development, that have the ability to make that happen, we are very interested in walking alongside you and help lending our expertise to developing new product for things to do, because we have the hotel rooms we need for the things for those folks to do. And I'll be happy to answer any questions, but things are looking really great tourism-wise.
Item number 9, a report from Finance Director Karen Bell.
Just 2 items tonight, Mr. Chairman. First, the current fund balance is at $15.7 million, which is at 32%, which is well above our threshold that we've adopted of 16%, so we're doing well there. The second item that I would present to you tonight is a tax anticipation note that I'm going to ask that you suspend the rules for juvenile court for $200,000. You did one a month ago, but because of the expenses that have come in and the fact that our tax notices have not yet gone out, and we don't have the revenue coming in like we anticipated, we're going to need to do this until the tax notices go out. So I would ask that you suspend the rules to take this up.
Commissioner.
Motion to suspend the rules. Second.
Have motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Commissioner Hill.
Motion to adopt as written. Second.
Have motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Item number 10, report from county officials, standing and special committees, any old business action of by this board. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, on October 13th, the property committee met, covered several items that I've got to bring to y'all tonight. Number one was the item on inventory threshold. Karen can expound on that a little further, but what basically is it's special track. Everything gets super tracked on the $500 mark instead of the $100 mark.
Certainly. Many of the departments are having to tag everything that's $100 and above, and so they've really asked that that threshold be raised, so we're asking that be raised to $500 and above.
That was a committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
The other item that we had was dealing with Hollywood Field. That's the 3 ball fields directly behind the finance building on Hollywood. The committee recommended that the attorney begin proceedings to break the lease with the current tenant who's not honoring their terms of the lease. That's a committee recommendation as well.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? Any question? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Last order of business we had was we did adopt, or did appoint, vote to appoint Claudette Brown as the property committee's rep on the Education Vision Committee.
Any other reports? Commissioner Hale?
Yes, sir. We had a joint meeting between the Personnel Committee, Property Committee, and Insurance Committee, and this will actually take up number 33 on our agenda, because 33 is the appointment of the committee members for insurance. What we found in both personnel committees and insurance, and in property committees, we were having conversations about insurance often. The Insurance Committee is tasked with managing the insurance for both our personnel and our property. And what we found was it was backlogging some of the momentum we wanted to move forward. So as a committee recommendation, we wanted to make the Insurance Committee sunset and the personnel and the property committees absorb the duties of the Insurance Committee. And this comes as a committee recommendation from all 3 committees.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No. Any opposed?
No.
Who said no?
Commissioner Mercer.
Mercer. Motion passes. Any other reports? Lori Live?
Just letting everybody know, early voting starts this Wednesday at 9 a.m. It'll go through November the 3rd, and the hours are 9 to 4. On Saturday, there'll be 2 Saturdays, and it's 9 to 12, and Election Day is November the 8th, from 8 to 7.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Brown.
Yes, sir. Along the lines of committee reports, can we get an update? I know there was a subcommittee to deal with the facilitating the development of a new detention center, and we hadn't had any reports with regard to plans or the progress that they're making. Can we get an update of of what's going on there?
What kind of center?
The detention center.
Oh, the detention center.
Yes.
Commissioner Hale.
We'll refer to Ms. Jones.
I'm happy to give an update on it, sir. The architects have been here twice. They will be back next week. They've been here half a day each time. They've met with pretty much all the different parties. They've met with detention. They've met with probate, who's in that building. They've met with, I believe Commissioner Wall represented the county commission regarding their building, Sheriff's Department, IT, a whole list of people who have come over and talked with the architects. They will be back next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. There are 13-week contract runs December 1st, so they will have something for the county commission to look at probably in January or February.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a resolution that has been distributed to all the commissioners to look at. We discussed this in the agenda review meeting. This is a resolution for a $5.2 million Tennessee Department of Environment Conservation American Rescue Plan Act grant. And this resolution basically states that the county supports providing the co-funding level of 15% for the grant, which 15% is $784,832. And I need to suspend the rules in order to approve this resolution. I can explain it a little bit more after we suspend the rules.
Mr. Alexander.
Make a motion, we suspend the rules.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Thank you. So this $5.2 million is money that's been allocated to Madison County by the state. It's not money that we have to compete for. It's our money to use for either water, wastewater, or stormwater purposes. We have chosen to apply for a stormwater project that will do an assessment of every culvert in Madison County on county roads and give us the size, length, type of material, condition of the pipe for every pipe that we have in the county, which we don't currently have. Also part of the grant application will be that we replace approximately 53 culverts throughout the county with new pipes, concrete head walls, riprap, and all of that. This grant, we've been in discussion throughout most of this year as far as Madison County going after this grant, and there's been some discussions in the Budget Committee, Capital Committee about providing $800,000 for the 15% co-funding for this grant that's required. This $800,000 is not new money. This is money that is already been identified in the other ARC money that the county has, and that Finance Director Bell can attest to. So this is not new money. This is money. We already have the money for this match. All I need from the commission tonight is approval of this resolution saying that we will commit that money towards this grant should it be awarded.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the application for the grant.
You have a motion from Mr. Brown.
I second, and I have a question.
Have a second. Discussion. Go ahead.
Yes. Will this grant allow you to do any paving or repair after the work you're doing?
Yeah, well, it will allow for paving over the locations where we replace pipes. It won't be for any paving like a full length of roads or anything like that, but it will pay for patching with new pavement over those cross streams.
My reason for raising the question is that I am very concerned about drainage. My couple might be related to it as well. Lost Creek Road, and I'm glad to know that McGee Road is being repaved. But these people have been going through, and I can tell you personally, for at least 8 years that we've been complaining about it, and so bad that late at the end of the street had to be carried on heavy rains because the lotus and water rushing down here. There's a lot of hills and valleys within our house. We need to take care of that quick if it means a budget amendment. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the patching of roads and, the repairing that's being done, but this project is maybe too long.
I'll be happy to talk with you about it afterwards, and I'm not aware of a culvert issue that's causing issues that you referred to.
I was saying that I didn't know if COVID would be respected, would be affecting this, but I was concerned about if all this money, if we're going to, these people are still going 8 more years with that situation.
Commissioner Godwin?
Could you tell me exactly again, how many roads with this covered with this grant money? Because I think you said about the fact that you would have to get the information on exactly the roads now in order to cover, and you might need more roads, but you have a certain amount now. So what's the number of pipes that's going to be looked at?
It's approximately 53. I don't have the exact number. The engineer is still developing that list. I think they're pretty close to being finished with it, but it's either 53 or 57 pipes. And so as far as the number of roads that affects, it's not that many roads because we're going to be replacing multiple pipes on some roads.
Well, I'd like to see that copy. So.
Okay, I'll be happy to provide that to all the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Neal?
I moved in discussion. I applaud our road commissioner for getting this grant for the county, or attempting to get the grant, so certainly need the money.
Mr. Murphy?
Who is the chairman of the highway committee?
Highway committee?
Yeah, who is the chairman of the highway committee?
Anybody got that information?
You, okay.
Commissioner Hogan?
Then, all this information, I'm not taking it away from you, Mr. Walton, but the county, but the highway committee chairman should have been giving the stuff back to the county commission, not, you should have went through him on that. And he should have got up and made the recommendation that, cause it's coming from a committee and you get only the second to vote on it. So it should have came from the chairman rather than from you, because you're not a part of this body. Thank you.
I second.
We have a motion on the floor, it's been seconded. Don't we have a motion?
Yes, sir.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 11. Report from our county mayor.
No report from me. I, however, would like to ask Mr. Walsh to present on his department and what he's been working on. We have a tendency to only recognize departments that have emergencies when they happen. We talk a lot about those departments when those things happen. But I'd like to take my time, yield my time to Mr. Walsh to tell us about what's going on and some details about our county roads, because I know y'all get questions. I know I do.
Thank you, Mayor Massey, and everybody's favorite topic. It's my favorite topic anyway, county roads. Mayor Massey asked me to give a report on our county roads last week, and so I put together a few minutes here about our Madison County roads. Madison County road system, we have 720 roads, approximately 690 miles. We have 212 bridges. The main activities that the County Highway Department performs most every week, not every day, but most every week. You're aware of pothole repair, culverts and cross-drain maintenance and replacement, ditching, driveway culvert replacements, signage on county roads, mowing and spraying of right-of-ways, maintenance of traffic signals in the county, seasonal salting and snow removal, and assisting other departments with projects with CLB approval. As you're aware, we have a database where we each call for a request that comes in for some kind of repair, whether it's ditching or pothole repair. We make a ticket in our database so that we don't miss it. And as of January 3rd of this year, we have created or received calls for requests for 1,007 requests for road repairs. We have completed 973 of those, and we have 34 tickets still open. This is as of last week. That's an average of over 100 requests per month. A snapshot of the kind of requests that we get. The number one request that we've gotten in that time span was for pothole repairs. The second most request was for ditching. The third most request was for either sign repairs, sign replacements, things like that. In this year, we have resurfaced with chip seal approximately 69, a little over 69 miles of roads. We still have a few more roads, probably about 4 more roads left to do that we've been trying to time the repair with some work we're trying to complete at the Fred Young Park for the Parks and Rec Department. The material cost for those 69 miles of chip seal is approximately $823,000, and that all comes from our approved budget. Work that we've done for other county entities with CLB approval this year. Parks and Rec Department, we installed a culvert at Pewborn Park for approximate cost of $12,188. We have performed work at the airport. We've repaired a sinkhole that's on the golf course. I call it the golf course property, but it's actually the airport's property that the golf course leases from the county. We repaired a sinkhole on the airport's property at a cost of $12,760, and we're currently have just completed the driveway repair of Fred Young Park. We had a contractor do that work for a cost of $48,240, and we're in the process with my own forces rebuilding parts of the driveway and chip sealing all the driveways and the parking lots in Fred Young Park, hopefully this week if the weather cooperates. In February of this year, we experienced some flooding. We had a box culvert that was severely damaged on Brown's Church Road. The completed cost of repairing that box will be approximately $86,000. And I might add that that flooding event was not declared a natural disaster by FEMA, so all the cost of repairing that culvert came directly out of our budget. Also in that storm event, we had a culvert crossing that was partially washed out on Bowman Collins Road. We temporarily repaired it at a cost of approximately $39,000. Again, that came from our budget. We are in the process of looking into a hazard mitigation grant to repair the culvert on Bowman Collins Road next to the Solid Waste Convenience Center there. The next month in March, we had a tornado come through Madison County. It was an EF1 tornado that did quite a bit of damage throughout the county. Unfortunately, not enough to be declared a disaster. But with our own forces, we removed approximately 1,200 cubic yards of debris, which would be like limbs and trees and things like that, or approximately 102 truckloads of debris. It was not declared a disaster. The estimated response and cleanup costs by the Highway Department was $69,851. Again, that came straight from our budget since it wasn't declared a disaster. And the tornado did come by the Highway Department and did almost $8,000 worth of damage to our buildings and equipment, which we were reimbursed by our insurance company for. Also, in April of this year, we opened a new bridge that was built by volunteer construction on John Brown Road. This was a bridge that was funded 100% by TDOT. We did not have any match or any funds involved in this project, and the project cost was $435,930, so we got a new bridge essentially for free. Current projects that we have going on, we are paving and resurfacing approximately 9 miles of road. The project was awarded to Delta Contracting at a cost of $2,024,847. This is work that came directly from our budget. We're also rebuilding the road base on 2 other roads, approximately 1 mile total length on Vine Hill Road and Doug Mason Road. That project is $231,910, and that work is hopefully going to get started next week. I was trying to get in touch with the contractor today to find out more specifically when they were going to start, but I couldn't get in touch with him. We have another project awarded to Martin Paving to patch several cross drains around the county where we've replaced culverts in the past year or so. There's 17 different locations at a cost of $113,570. We'll be having those cross drains patched. Christmasville Road being the first one on the list, and Browns Church Road being the second one on the list. Then the other 15 will just kind of fall in line there. We did last week open bids to replace the culvert on Claiborne Drive. That project was awarded to Delta Contracting. We're waiting for their bonds and insurance to come in so we can schedule a pre-construction meeting and hopefully get that project underway very quickly. The cost of that culvert replacement is $197,639. And then, as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, we are applying for TDEC State Water Infrastructure Grant of $5.2 million with our $784,000 match. That total project will be just over $6 million. We also made application for a couple of bridge replacements under our president's bipartisan infrastructure law. This is a bridge investment program application. We applied to replace a bridge on Christmasville Road. It's a 285-foot long bridge, as well as a 58-foot long bridge on Huntersville Denmark Road. The total grant application for those two bridges is $4,710,000. And I got some other stuff I could go through here, but if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything about any of that I just discussed.
Any questions? Thank you very much, Mr. Walker.
You're welcome.
Item number 12, any amendments or transfers to the general fund, school department, capital project, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service, budget year 2022 and 23, Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Fund 141, General Purpose School, Item 1, $593,533.70, transferring line items within the technology school budget for fiscal year 2023.
Any recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
All right, we go to what's listed as item 4 EMA, $25,868.60, disaster relief funding reimbursement from 2019 North Carolina hurricane deployment.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Wall.
For the next three agenda items, I'd like the record to show that because of my employment, I'm declaring that I will be voting on these matters for the benefit of my constituents. It does not arise to the level that would create a direct conflict of interest according to council.
Commissioner Johnson.
All right, item 5, Sheriff's Department, $48,614.20, insurance recovery funds.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 6, Sheriff's Department, $3,150, sale of scrap MCSO vehicles, funds being transferred back into vehicle capital.
Committee recommendation, no.
Did he say 3,000 or 1,000?
What did you say, Ron?
$3,150.
Thank you, sir. Committee
Mr.
recommendation,
Chairman.
no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, all of these are committee approved. Item 7, Sheriff's Department, $73,735.98, insurance recovery funds for damage to Sheriff's Department building and equipment during March 2022 storm that damaged Sheriff's Department building and contents.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 8, fire, $9,631.25, payment for firefighters working at airport.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
New programs. Item 9, Sheriff's Department, $80,000, new money. Amendment for the body worn camera matching grant. No additional personnel added for equipment purchases.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 10, Sheriff's Department, $133,922. Amendments for CIT and Tennessee grant for Sheriff's Office.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Transfers. Item 11, Circuit Court Clerk, $8,019.24 to cover training period and educational incentive for new bookkeeper.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion?
Question.
Commissioner Brown.
Are there other departments in county government that gives education incentives?
Did any of the departments do what?
Give educational incentives to employees?
All of them receive it.
Good. Thank you.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Reserve state mandated. Item 12, Circuit Court Clerk, $36,500. Footage and data processing expenses for the remainder of the year.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 13, Clerk and Master, $10,000. Requesting funds be transferred to purchase a new next-gen server.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
From fund balance, item 14, EMA, $35,268.50, moving fiscal year 22 to PO to fiscal year 2023 funding year because of non-availability of state contract.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Mr. Chairman, we have one we need to suspend the rules to handle. It was one that came before us, but because of some changes being made in it, we did not approve it. So, total debits, $47,907.58. $47,907,528.29.
That was on Polk School, right? Karen, you want to explain that?
Certainly. When it came before the Financial Management Committee, if you'll remember, there was a very large number for engineering services. After reaching out to the A&E firm as well as the building contractor, the majority of the funding should have been in building construction, $37,501,152, with engineering services being $1,867,462. The construction manager's fee, $3,168,847. With the remaining furniture and fixtures, $4,870,067,000 and $500,000 for site development. So it now allocates the funds among the additional lines.
Did we table it last month to get the correction?
All those millions got confused, excuse me.
Committee recommendation?
No, suspend the rules, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry, we got to suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Motion to accept.
Have a motion to accept. Have a second, Commissioner Hale. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 13, consideration of a resolution to rezone property located at 1320 block of Lower Brownsville Road. Mr. Stan Pilot.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
County Commission. Let me give you a little bit of background because this is a sort of a unique item. This item was presented to you in June, and the petitioner had sent our office an email on Monday, which was Juneteenth holiday. So we didn't get his email until the next day, and the county commission was moved to the Tuesday that followed that in June. So the county commission meeting was already going on before our office saw that email. So we didn't get a chance to postpone action on his item. And then the county attorney checked with CTAS, and they felt since he had asked for a postponement, but it didn't get recognized because of the holiday, that they felt like a rehearing was appropriate because it would give him his due process. They felt like he didn't get that because he wasn't allowed to. He wasn't here. He couldn't be here. He was going to be here on the Monday, but when they had the holiday, he wasn't able to be here on Tuesday. So they suggested that we give him a rehearing, and that's what we're doing tonight. So just to reiterate where we were back in June when this was considered before, the Planning Commission is recommending approval of it to you. He's asking for planned business, which is what we use at our interchanges on I-40. Basically allows us to look at the development plans before they develop, so it gives us a little bit more control over how commercial development gets done. So that's why we like to do it at our interchanges, so we have more control over what it looks like, because that's our gateways into our community. So we recommend approval of it. There were a few people that lived in the area that were opposed to it at that time. And since the petitioner wasn't here to really answer any questions concerning his plans for development or anything, the county commission felt since the people that represented some of the people in the area were recommending against it, that the county commission went against that recommendation and voted it down. Tonight is coming back before you to give a chance for the petitioner, he's here, to answer any questions that you have. It's our understanding that the only development plans he has currently for the property is a billboard. If he chooses to develop the property further in the future, a development plan will have to be submitted to the Planning Commission for approval. And that's when we'll look at all the things that we look at in terms of commercial development, the road, the ability, the capacity of the road to carry whatever traffic is proposed to be generated by the development, and whatever improvements are necessary to support the development. But right now, he's just going through the zoning part on the property, and the only use that I'm aware of is a billboard at this time. And should that change, he will have to go to the Planning Commission and have that approved.
Mr. Tippett.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion of consideration.
Have a motion. Get it on the floor. Do I have a second?
I second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? This is the public meeting. Anyone can speak for or against this. You may come forward. Commissioner Brown.
I have a question for the start. We appreciate whoever the person is here to ask a question, but were the citizens who are in opposition, were they informed that he would be here?
We sent out notices again, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, Caleb Berryweather, I'm the petitioner on this matter.
All right,
I'm
sir.
happy to answer any questions. Apologize for my absence at the last time. So everything that Mr. Pilot has said is accurate, and I hope that I have addressed some of the concerns of the opposition. I've spoken with several people on the phone recently, and hopefully have addressed some of those, but answer any questions and respond to any.
We were just concerned, I live across this road.
Your name, please, ma'am?
Lindsay Wood.
Ms. Lindsay Wood. Go right ahead.
I live across the road from the property, and when the notice came out, it was a shopping center proposal, and we're going, this road cannot take all of the traffic. I mean, it's bad enough with what we have now. But with just a billboard, I feel like that's fine. But a shopping center, Dollar's General Store or something like that would really be detrimental to everything.
Well, and he doesn't have any plans for that at this present time. When he does have future development plans for that property, he will have to submit a development plan to the planning commission, and they'll look at those things just as you're talking about. They'll look at the access, the width of the road, its ability to carry traffic generated, and so we'll review all that. We don't want it to be a traffic jam either.
Thank you.
Commissioner Black?
Where is it in proximity to the rental place, the truck, Snyder equipment?
It's to the west of it.
To the west of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Godwin?
I'm just curious to know, what's on the billboard? What type of advertisement is on the billboard? And is it a money-making thing for the area, or what's on the billboard?
Well, I started a fledgling insurance agency about 3 years ago, so I wanted something up there that kind of advertised that we're located downtown.
Okay.
So that was the plan.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Tippett?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask Superintendent Walls to just kind of talk on what it would take to get the road in shape for some kind of mall or something like that, and if it would cost the county any money, if that's okay.
All right, thank you. I think there is a little bit of confusion here. I'd like to maybe kind of clear up to address your question there, ma'am. So different zoning districts, FAR, B4, those are the kind of the names of those zones, but the expanded name of the zone, FAR, for example, is forestry, agriculture, recreation. There's a lot of different things that fall within that zoning as far as approved uses that can occur in an FAR zone. The name of the zoning for B4 is planned shopping center. It doesn't mean that there's going to be a shopping center built there, but it is a little misleading when you look at it. It makes you think, oh, there's going to be a shopping center built there, but certainly shopping center is an approved use in that zone. There are many other approved uses such as a billboard in that zone as well. So I think that's maybe where some of the confusion has come into play. With regard to Commissioner Tippett's question about the road, I did go out and take a look at the road today. That road is, first of all, it's not on TDOT's functional classification system, so it is a very low volume road. It's only 18 feet wide, which is pretty narrow. There are very large trees immediately adjacent to the road. One of the trees, I think, was about 60 inches in diameter. It's huge. But those trees are only 3 or 4 feet off the edge of pavement. So that corridor, it feels very narrow as you travel through there. So if a shopping center were ever planned or developed at that location, there's no way that road would be able to support it. If a shopping center were planned to be built, then there would have to be upgrades to the road in order to support that kind of development. And I had some discussions with our planning director, Stan Pilot, today, and basically what he explained to me was that if someone comes in and develops a piece of property that causes a significant increase in traffic to that property, then the burden of improving that road to accommodate that traffic would be upon the developer themselves, not necessarily on the county. So let's just imagine for a minute that someone does decide to build a shopping center there. Not only would they have to bear the cost of building the shopping center, they would also have to bear the cost of improving the road, which is maybe 1,000 feet from exit 74 on the interstate. So I don't think that there would be any cost to the county to improve Lower Brownsville Road if a shopping center were built. And I think that in itself is a deterrent for someone to build a shopping center at that location. That's just my thoughts and opinions.
Commissioner Tippett.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve.
The motion, second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Thank you all.
Item number 14. Possible approval of the amendment of juvenile court annual financial report for 2/21, 2/22.
Mr. Chairman, this is just a amended report that was filed with the clerk's office. All of the other financial reports from the departments were filed in August. This was an amended report on theirs.
Have a motion? Second. Second, Commissioner Wall. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Number 15, a resolution to approve contract with the Cold Creek Software doing business as to provide income verification services for Madison County. Anyone want to explain that? Commissioner Brown?
This came before the Financial Management Committee. This is where the HR department is requesting that this software be used for verification of employment for vendors, no cost to the county whatsoever. And I believe County Attorney Bush said it did need to have a resolution to be approved for this.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. We've already dealt with item number 16. Number 17, appointment of 8 members to the Madison County Municipal Solid Waste Planning Regional Board. Commissioner Hale.
Just a motion to take up 17 through 22 are all mayor appointments, and thought we'd just give him the floor, and then we could take them up all at once.
17 through 22.
If you're okay with that, Mr. Mayor.
Maybe a little more complicated than that. I would like to actually table number 17. I couldn't get a hold of everybody currently on that committee. There are 5 members of that committee that have fallen off due to not showing up to 2 consecutive meetings. So I'd like to give them the chance to be reappointed. I also like their terms to be concurrent, so they could all expire at the same time. So I'd like to table number 17, and I'm going to do the same for number 19 as well. I'm waiting on a resume from one of the
19 and what?
17 and 19.
Move a motion to table 17 and 19.
I'll second that.
Have a motion, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
We'll gladly do 18 through 22 together. Public records, I'm recommending the current incumbents, Lori Skelton and Don Allen, and Mr. Andy Hall from our commission for public records. Outer region planning, Tony Niehoff.
You want to vote on this 18?
I thought we voted on them together.
We didn't make the motion to pass. The motion to approve number 18, his recommendations, Lori Skelton, Don Allen, and Katie,
Andy Hall.
Andy Hall.
Second.
Have a second? Second? Second, Carl. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Number 20?
Recommendation for the Madison County Outer Region Planning Committee is Tony Niehoff, Carl Alexander, and Kevin Hicks.
So moved.
Have a motion? Second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Bond, second.
Point
All in, community.
of clarification, item 19,
Sir.
is that gonna be dealt with later too?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'll take it up next
table
month. I have the names. I don't have a resume from one of
Yeah, we
them that
tabled it.
I've asked to serve.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
All right, building and fire codes appeal, the 1-year sentences. I have Brad Horner as an incumbent, Tony Niehoff, and incumbent Adrian Montague.
So moved.
Have a motion? Second by Commissioner Alexander. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
And building and fire codes, 2-year term, Mr. Mike Gardner, incumbent, and Commissioner Juanita Jones.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? Okay, here. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No.
Point of order, sir, or a point of information possibly. Would it be okay to take a small recess? We're about halfway through, and we're about an hour and a half in. Still got
Is
about
that
an
your
hour.
motion? Have a recess? Have a motion?
5-minute recess.
Have a second? Have a 5-minute recess? All in favor say aye.
She's going.
While we're gathering Mr. Chairman, can we give Commissioner Hale, right after he did voting, give him a raise or give him that break?
Everybody back?
No, Tippet's not. He's still out there talking? He's still out there talking.
Item number 23. Appointment of one member to the Airport Authority Liaison by this body, 1-year term. We have a vacancy. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Jimmy Harris for that vacancy. Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 24, appointment of 3 members to the Beer Commission by this body, 2-year term. We have 1 vacancy, Jimmy Arnold and Carl Alexander incumbent.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Jimmy Arnold, Carl Alexander, Gary Tippett, and I want to add 2 more, Joey Hale and Mike Bryant, to make a total of 5.
All right. Have a motion? Have a second? Any discussion?
I'm not sure, you're expanding the beer board, is that what this is?
I am, and I think it was your recommendation at one point that you would rather
Well,
potentially have
not
more than 3.
necessarily, but I don't have any problem with it. I just want
Okay.
to make sure that's what we're doing.
Yes, we're going to expand from 3 to 5, and in that case, if somebody's not there, it makes it easier for a vote.
No problem.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 25. Appointment of 7 members to the Cable Communications Committee by this body, 1-year term. Jeff Walsh, Cindy Bryant, William Martin, Adrian Montague, Aaron Ellison, incumbent, 2 vacancies. Item 25, Commissioner Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Cable Communications, I would nominate Cindy Bryant, Adrian Montague, William Martin, Aaron Ellison, Tony Niehoff, Mike Taylor, Jeff Wall for that committee.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Mr. Bryant.
Oh, I was on item
Were
26.
you waiting on me? Okay. Item number, we're on
26, I believe.
26. Appointment of 7 members of the Commission Rules and Bylaws Committee by this body, 4-year term. Jeff Wall, Arthur Johnson, Mike Taylor, Luther Mercer, incumbent, 3 vacancies. Number 26. Commissioner Bryant.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Commissioners Jeff Wall, Juanita Jones, Andy Hall, Kevin Hicks, Arthur Johnson, Mike Taylor, and Tony Niehoff.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask a question on this committee here.
You're not, you recognize the lady, she was standing, Commissioner Bond.
I was going to second his motion. I second.
You second the motion? Commissioner Mercer.
Who made these appointments on this committee here?
These are recommendations.
From who?
By other commissioners.
Who?
By the Republican caucus. That's why we meet.
The racial committee, that's what it is.
Commissioner Brown.
I'd like to nominate Tony Black for one of the vacancies on it. Commissioner Black.
Second motion.
Beg pardon?
You made a motion, I second.
I second
Let's, we have a motion second.
Yeah, I second.
You want to call these off, who's been nominated again?
Yes, sir, Chair. Commissioners Jeff Wall, Juanita Jones, Andy Hall, Kevin Hicks, Arthur Johnson, Mike Taylor, and Tony Niehoff.
And Tony Black.
Yes.
You're voting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll.
7?
7. Commissioner Brown.
Yes, I'd like to move that we'll amend that commitment like we did the other one, and just increase it by one additional member. And that'll take care of it all.
Second that.
A motion second to amend that to increase it to 7. The 8. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? You opposed? You know what we're voting on?
We just voted.
You were increasing one by one, weren't
You increase it to make it to 8.
Yeah. No, 7's fine. My vote.
Commissioner Ellis?
Was Commissioner Mercer written on that committee?
I don't know about that.
Well, I would like to make a motion to put him back on if he's on it.
We have another motion on the floor.
Second.
We have a second.
We're taking nominations, Mr. Chairman, so you've got currently, I believe, 9, or is it 9 nominations for 7 spots. Then there was also a motion that was made to add an additional seat, which was seconded before nominations were closed.
And we voted on it.
And it's been voted on, so the committee as it stands then, I guess, is that correct, Mr. Clark? Okay.
It's been voted to have 8 on that committee, yes.
Okay.
All in favor say aye.
We've already voted on it. With one opposition, we already voted on it.
I think you need to vote on nominations. If there's not any more nominations, you have 9 nominations for 8 spots.
Mr. Chairman, could we have the names again so we can write them down and do it slow?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'll make a motion to close nominations on this committee.
I second.
All of them?
Got a motion and a second.
We're going to have to read out 8 names. Each member's gonna have to read 8 names, and 8 will have to receive a majority.
You can kill the choices?
8. Hey, you got 8 choices.
No, I got 9 choices, you vote for 8 of them.
You vote for 8.
Oh, Lord, who can remember that much?
We got 9 nominations. We got 8 names you're gonna be voting on. You got anybody got all the names?
I need the 2 other nominations.
If you're looking at what I said about Commissioner Mercer, forget that. I withdraw that. That's gonna confuse me about it.
It ain't confusing.
I mean, you know, that's gonna break it down to where it should be. I withdraw that.
Well, then the original motion take care of that then.
So the original motion stands. So you got 8. We got 8.
We got 8. 8, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We voted on the 8. Need a roll call on all these names?
No, well, Commissioner Ellison has withdrawn his motion for Commissioner Mercer. So as it stands, you have 8 nominees for 8 spots. So you don't have to name each one in that case.
Commissioner Hale.
The names that I have are Wall, Jones, Hall, Hicks, Johnson, Taylor, Niehoff, and Black for the.
Correct.
Commissioner Day.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How can you vote to add one more when you hadn't voted on the nominations yet?
We're gonna vote on, we're voting on 8.
That's what I'm saying. How can you do that when the nominations came up first? That was after the fact. And yet you voted it first. Shouldn't you go by the way it's supposed to go, pecking order?
The amendment. Because it was amended.
It was amended.
And voted to pass.
I guess vote on the 8th.
Right, you just need to vote on the 8th.
We're voting on the 8th. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. One no.
Two noes, I agree with Mr. Hagan, it does need to be with 7 on there.
Which one?
26, or 27.
Yeah, right.
27. Appointment of one member liaison to the Economic Development Commission by this body, one-year term, one vacancy. Commissioner Bryant.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Cindy Bryant.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? Any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Number 28. Appointment of one member to the Educational Foundation Committee by this body, one-year term.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Commissioner Hicks.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to recommend Larry Lawrence.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? Any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr.
I'd
Lawrence.
like to table that motion and ask that the background check be done on him.
I don't understand you.
I'd like to table that
Like to table it.
and make a background check before we put him on that committee.
I'll second that.
Have a motion second. Everybody understand what we're voting on?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Because I think he get filed bankruptcy and the business, he had to get dropped that, so you're not eligible for this committee.
You ready, sir?
Roll call.
Abernathy. To table and have a background check conducted on Mr. Lawrence. Adak. No. Alexander.
No.
Arnold.
No.
Black.
Yes.
Bond.
No.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant Cindy. Bryant Mike.
No.
Deaton.
No.
Ellison. Godwin. I'm sorry, ma'am. Thank you. Hale.
No.
Hall.
No.
Hicks.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Jones.
Pass.
Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Yes.
Neoff.
No.
Petty.
No.
Taylor. Tippit.
No.
Wall.
No.
Get confused. Got 6 yes, 16 no, 2 pass, 1 absent.
We got 6 yes, 16 no, 2 pass, 1 absent.
Yes, sir.
Motion fails. Now we're voting for the appointment of Larry Lawrence to the Educational Foundation Committee. Roll call.
Abernathy.
Pass.
Adak.
Yes. Yes.
All right, yes, ma'am. Adak.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
The appointment of Larry Lawrence.
Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black.
No.
Bond.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Bryant Cindy.
Yes.
Bryant Mike.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
No.
Godwin.
Pass.
Hill.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Hall.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Pass.
Martin.
No.
Mercer.
No.
Montague.
No.
Neoff.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Taylor. Tippit.
Yes.
Wall.
Let's make it official, I pass.
Sir?
Change mine to pass.
He changed us to pass.
I heard 16 yes, 5 no, 3 pass, 1 absent.
16 yeses, 5 noes, 3 pass, 1 absent. Larry Lawrence is appointed to the Educational Foundation Committee. Item number 29, appointment of 11 members to the Educational Vision Committee by this body, 2-year term. We got 1 vacant seat. It has to be appointed by the Budget Committee. All these have to be appointed by the committee, right? Commissioner Alexander.
Make a motion that we table this until next month so those committees can have a chance to meet.
All right. Motion to table.
I second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 30, appointment of 1 member to liaison to the Enrichment and Development Center by this body, 1-year term, Claudel Brown, incumbent. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to renominate Claudel Brown for that position.
Mr. Chairman, I second that motion.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 31, appointment of 4 members to the Excess and Resale Property Committee by this body, 1-year term, Jeff Wall, Aaron Ellison, County Mayor, incumbent, and 2 vacant seats. Mr. Bond.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to nominate Jeff Wall, Carl Alexander, Aaron Ellison, Tony Niehoff, and Mayor Massey.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 32, appointment of 4 members of the liaison to the Fire Department by this body, 1-year term. Jimmy Arnold, Arthur Johnson, Carl Alexander, incumbent, 1 vacancy, 1-year term. Commissioner Hale.
Yes, sir. I move to appoint Jimmy Arnold, Arthur Johnson, Carl Alexander, and Juanita Jones.
Have a motion.
I second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Appointment of 7 members to the Insurance Committee by this body, 1-year term, Gary Deaton, Luther Mercer, Aaron Ellison, Carly Bond, Karen Bell, Carmela Keys, and incumbent, and we have 3 vacant seats.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion that we sunset that committee.
That was struck from the.
That was struck.
That's struck.
Exactly right. That no longer exists. We took it out. Item 34, appointment of 2 members to liaison, but to JACOA by this body, 1-year term, William Martin and Cindy Bryan, incumbent.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion we sunset that committee.
Have a motion, second, to sunset that committee.
Who's second, please?
Who seconded that?
Jeff was standing.
I said second.
Did you say second?
I said second.
I'm so sorry.
Who seconded? You second? Well, we didn't hear you. Beg your pardon. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Number 35, appointment of 1 member to liaison to the Jackson Arts Council. This body, 1-year term, 1 vacant seat. Commissioner Hicks.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Olivia Abernathy.
Second.
And motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 36, appointment of 7 members to the Liaison Resolution Committee by this body, 1-year term, Carly Bond, Carl Alexander, Adrian Montague, incumbent, and I've got 4 vacant seats.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Adair.
I'd like to nominate Gary Deaton, Mike Taylor, Sheila Godwin, Carly Bond, Cindy Bryant, Arthur Johnson, and Adrian Montague.
Second.
And motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 37. Appointment of 2 members of the liaison to the library board by this body, 1-year term, 2 vacant seats. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Cindy Bryant and Carly Bond to those 2 positions.
Commissioner Hicks.
Second.
Second, a motion second. Any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Number 38, appointment of several members of the Personnel Committee by this body, one-year term. Carly Bond, Mike Taylor, Claudia Brown, Gary Deaton, Joey Hale, Aaron Ellison, and Cindy Bryant, incumbent. Commissioner Tippett.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Joey Hale, Carly Bond, Cindy Bryant, Gary Deaton, Tony Black, Claudia Brown, and Andy Hall.
Mr. Brown.
I'll second.
Have a motion second. Any other nomination? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Number 39. Appointment of 7 members to the Property Committee by this body. Mr. Hale.
Yes, sir. I move to nominate Carl Alexander, Jeff Wall, Mike Bryant, Carly Bond, Adrian Montague, Juanita Jones, and Tony Niehoff.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to,
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Let's see, property. Item number 40, appointment of 2 members liaison to the rabies control by this body, 4-year term. Number 40. Commissioner Bond.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Aaron Ellison and Harold Petty.
Second.
Commissioner Hicks, have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Can I get a little clarification? I was reading down for, on 39, who were those people that were elected to the committee? 39?
39.
Clerk.
Carl Alexander, Jeff Wall, Mike Bryant, Carly Bond, Adrian Montague, Juanita Jones, and Claudia Brown. Is that correct? Not Tony Neal, okay, in Juanita's place. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're on 41. Appointment of 2 members of the liaison committee to the Recreation Board by this body, 1-year term. Luther Mercer, incumbent, 1 vacancy. Commissioner Wall.
Mr. Chairman, because the duties of the Recreation Board kind of overlap with the duties of the Conservation Board, I'm recommending that we sunset that particular position.
Sunset the Recreation Board.
That's right.
I second that.
Got a motion second. Any discussion on that?
Could you tell me how they overlap? I'm not as familiar with what that function is.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. It should be the Recreation Board and not the Conservation Board. We have a conservation district in Madison County, and this is not it. So the wrong one's being sunsetted.
Could I get that question asked? What's the difference between the two? Because Recreation Board been approving parks and recreation, and I hear, somebody needs to tell me the difference between the two.
I believe since the county adopted there's a statute involving having a conservation board appointed, which is charged with purchasing lands and leasing lands for county parks. And that board serves as the essentially governing body for our Parks and Recreation Department. I'm not aware of when the Recreation Board came about, but I know Mr. Guerin, isn't the Conservation Board is who governs your department, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
When does the Recreation Board meet? I mean, what does the Recreation Board do? You said what the Conservation Board do. What do they do?
I'm not aware of the Recreation Board's responsibilities. I would assume they overlap with the Conservation Board. The Conservation Board is appointed by this body, and it is charged with all the responsibilities with regard to our parks and recreation in the county. There may have at one time been a Recreation Board, but I'm speculating on that.
Is that a voting body?
Yes, the Conservation Board is a voting body. Obviously, anything they do has to be approved by the county commission when it comes to obtaining properties for the county.
And the Recreation Board is only a liaison.
No, what it is, I think at some point we must change the name because we did have, like you said, we had a recreation board, they would recommend on parks and things of that nature.
That's the assumption I would make, is that we had a recreation board, and then when this body adopted the statute dealing with the conservation board, that it took over what the recreation board responsibilities were.
Mr. Chairman, we did. Hugh Bourne was the chairman of that recreation board.
Commissioner Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, we had in the past, we've just been had 2 liaison members, and it's good that we're there to be able to kind of represent the CLB in whatever their wishes are. And then we kind of give them some insight on what we think is be best, and we represent them to come in before this body to be able to get funding for certain things. So that's the purpose of the liaison members. Am I wrong, Commissioner Mercer? Am I wrong?
No, you're right about that.
Commissioner Black.
I'm understanding there's probably no recreation board, it's actually the conservation board, so I think the recreation board is non-existent. Would that be correct?
That's what I believe. I don't think there's a recreation board. I believe it's the conservation board, and that Commissioner Mercer and Commissioner Petty were the liaisons.
Right.
Okay, question, we'll call for vote, please.
Mr. President.
I'm sorry.
And just for a point of reference there, that we do reappoint the liaisons to the Conservation Board in March.
Right. That's it.
Ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Sunset.
We're voting to sunset the recreation board in lieu of the conservation board.
It's not a recreation board, it's a conservation board. You
Right.
have a recreation board.
Mr. Chairman, I think you could just not appoint liaisons for it, and I don't believe there's a recreation board in existence.
That's what they make a recommendation to sunset that we don't have.
Right,
Isn't it? No reason to vote.
yeah, you just vote to take it off the list, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think, my point is, I don't believe there are people serving on a recreation board currently.
Same people.
The people on the recreation board are the conservation board.
I got you. So there's no reason to vote on that.
I think you have to.
Let's move on to 42. Appointment of 8 members to the Risk Management Safety Committee. Commissioner Alexander.
Recommend we sunset because that committee was appointed by the insurance committee.
I second.
Motion to sunset, second by Ms. Godwin. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 43, appointment of 3 members to the Senior Citizens Center. Commissioner Alexander.
Make a motion that we sunset that committee as well because we're no longer
I
funded.
second that.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 44, appointment of 7 members to the Solid Waste Committee. Mr. Hale.
Yes, sir. I move to nominate Arthur Johnson, Mark Ade, Gary Tippett, Cindy Bryant, William Martin, Luther Mercer, Tony Niehoff.
Have a motion second, Commissioner
Second.
Alexander. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 45, appointment of 3 members to the Sportsplex Tax Revenue Oversight Committee. Mr. Tippett.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Larry Lawrence, Gary Deaton, John Newman.
So moved. Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay. Item 46, appointment of 1 member of the liaison to the Safety Association. By this body, 1-year term. We have 1 vacancy.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Olivia Abernathy.
Have a motion second. Commissioner Bryant. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 47, appointment of 4 members of the liaison to the West Tennessee Healthcare Board. By this body, 1-year
Mr.
term.
Chairman, I'd like to nominate Jeff Walls, Juanita Jones, Kevin Hicks, and Andy Hall.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate William Watson.
I was gonna second her motion.
Okay. You want to nominate William Martin?
I second that motion. Nomination.
Yes, sir, William Martin.
William Martin.
There's that one vacant one.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 nominees for 4 seats. Roll, Commissioner Hall.
I'd like to remove my name from that and nominate Harold Petty.
Harold Petty.
Yes, sir.
I would second.
Have a motion second. So you're voting Jeff Wall, Juanita Jones, Kevin Hicks, Harold Petty, and William Martin. You voted for 4 out of 5. Roll call.
Would you make these names again?
Jones,
Can we increase that
Wall.
4 to 5 rather than 4?
You make the motion?
I make a motion.
I second.
We have a motion is second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
No,
Have one. Go ahead.
we're just gonna keep adding chairs when you don't get the people you want. I mean, it's kinda like the Supreme Court, isn't it? You don't have what you want, so you keep adding chairs.
They're gonna increase the
Come on,
Supreme
baby.
Court.
It's getting run over left and right.
They're just liaisons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mr. Chairman, I've been on that committee before, and we're liaisons, so it's not like you're a voting person, so.
Item number 4.
If we approve, then we need to vote on those five.
Now we're voting on those 5. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Have one. Item number 48. Appointment of 2 members of the liaison to the West Tennessee Hearing and Speech Center. Mr. Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, nominate Jeff Wall and Joey Hale. So moved.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. 49, appointment of 4 members of liaison to the West Tennessee River Basin Authority by this body, 1-year term.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Hall.
I'd like to make a motion that Gary Tippett, Carl Alexander, Jeff Wall, and Jimmy Stanford be appointed to that board.
Mr. Hicks.
So moved.
Have motion second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 50, appointment of 4 members of the liaison to the West Tennessee Training Center Oversight Committee. Commissioner Alexander.
Make a motion that we sunset that committee.
I second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Brandt.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to speak to the philosophy of increasing these committees. If you note, 4 or 5 people on almost all of the committees, and if this is representative government, the more voices we get there, the more the people are being heard. Everybody here represents somebody. So when you include the numbers, to put these people on there, we're assuring a greater democracy for our community.
Item number 51, election of no Republicans. Commissioner Adair.
Yes. It's funny to me that it was always fine until you didn't get the people you wanted nominated, then you want to add chairs. Don't start that about, it's about the people, when it wasn't for 50 years or whatever.
For the sake of, Mr. Chairman, for the sake of efficiency and clarity, I don't know who the appropriate committee would be, maybe rules and bylaws, but to have a description of what each committee does and what a liaison is versus a voting member. I
They were
think-
working on that.
Are they working on, okay. Who is?
Each chair.
Of each committee? Okay, okay, gotcha. That would be very helpful.
Commissioner Godwin.
Mr. Hall, you gonna let me talk?
Yes, ma'am, I'm so
I
sorry.
make a motion we elect the, no Republican.
I got Commissioner Godwin on the floor.
Okay, I hear, Chair. I want to thank all those people that supported me or didn't support me, whether I sit on a committee or not, it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna still say what I wanna say. So, that's all I gotta say. And can we all, y'all did real good tonight. Especially on nominating people and all of that. I'm really proud of y'all. Okay, this get a little bit better next meeting. That's all I gotta say.
We're on item number 51, election of no Republicans. Have a motion? Second. Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 52, any and all matters related to, connected with matters set forth in items 1 through 51. Yes, sir, Billy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last month, I neglected to introduce our new internal auditor, Mike Perry. Mike has a financial background. He's going to be an asset to the county. I'm sure you'll be talking to him. He started to meet with departments, so he's going to do a fantastic job. And just to end the meeting with a positive note, been speaking with our bank for the last couple of weeks, and we've raised our checking account interest rate from 0.0023 to 1%. So we're going to make that. That's great news.
I had a motion to adjourn. Roll call.
Abernathy.